Well, hi everybody and welcome back to my second channel here where we are going to play Planet Zoo. This is the second episode and it's finally time for us to make an entrance. As you can see here, I deleted the original entrance, but I really like the design of it. So I'm kind of inspired by that to make this building. As I said in the intro video, I really want to make something big and something kind of people wanted to brag about if they visited, but still not where we just wasting money without reason, because the people who gonna visit are the people who's going to be seeing this. As you can see, I already started using a mod. The wall piece I use here, it's from the Planet Zoo Safari Pack mod from NicholasLionRider. I will link every single mod I use in the description, so you can go get it yourself if you want to. If you don't know how to install mod, Leaf have recently made an extremely detailed how to do this shit on his site, so I will link that as well below if you don't know already. Here I just kind of looking for the perfect wall piece to put in here. I'm so sad this glass piece is only in 4x4 and it's only one wall and a roof. I would love it if you could get like rounded roof like you can do with the rest of the glass pieces, and you could get walls with doors and 1 meters, 2 meters, all of the wall pieces we have with every single other type of wall piece, but with this glass one we only got this one, and that makes it a kind of foggy thing to work with, but I will love it, so we're gonna use it. And here you can see I used another wall piece, which also from a mod, and it's from the General Zoo Scenery Pack from Jojo, also link below. And it's, I think the wall piece is already in the game, but Jojo made it flexicolor, which really makes it easy to, here you can see it's fit in. I'm not sure what they're made of, because if you use filters it shows up when you use the wood filter, but also when you use the stone filter, so I'm not sure, but I really like the color scheme in them, and again the fact that you can use so many different colors. And here I'm gonna add the second floor. I'm not gonna make the second floor yet, but I want to have an idea about how high it's gonna be, so I make the stairs now so I can make sure anything I put in the first floor has the right size. And here we're gonna start making a piece which really doesn't have to be anything special. I just like the fact that we break the guests up when they visit, so it's not like they just go straight through this building. They have to like go to the sides and explore the building. Also because I'm gonna add stuff in both sides of the building. My idea is on one side we got a toilet and we're gonna have a restaurant, and of the other side we're gonna have a gift shop. And the gift shop, I believe, is extremely important, because I think some of the millionaires that's going to be our supporters here would like to bring their children with them, and I kind of think they would be the kind of parents that would give their children anything. Yeah. So here you can see we just gonna shape this out. I had an idea of a kind of shape, but not which size or anything. So as you can see, I go back and reshape it a few times. But I really like the shape we end out with, especially because if you don't want to go closer to it, you just go to the side. But if you want to go close to it, it has this kind of shape where you can go in the middle of it, kind of, and not be irritated by the people that's gonna go by it. If it was completely round, then people would go close to you. But because it has this like an angle inwards, then you can go in there and be kind of safe, or what we're gonna call it. Here we're just gonna put in these one. I don't remember what they're called, but it's so we make sure. It's so we make sure that the guests don't walk through it. I could also just delete the floor there, but it would be hard to do that around this shape, so I like to use these instead, even though it takes a little more time. At this point I thought about what I want to put in it, and I thought it would be so fun to make a model train. It would also be extremely cool to have a mini model of this future life project, but again, we don't know yet which animals we're gonna get and what our sponsors are going to want from us. So instead I just went back basic and like we're just gonna do something with plants. It's the safe choice. And here I'm just gonna put in some rocks. I didn't knew at this point what I wanted to build it up with, but I think when you do a centerpiece like this, you have to build in the height. We don't want like our guests. We don't want our guests to have to like go real close and look down on it. We want to build it up, so that's why I started with these stones, just to get a little bit of height and idea what we're going to do. And here I used the mold pieces. I think I went with yes. Also because I like the idea that we have these centerpieces that is alive. So we have these small pieces, and in my head underneath we have like a watering system, so we don't have our staff going every day and check these plants. They pretty much take themselves, and of course we can see if they get sick, because it's really much where we're gonna be all the time. Yeah, and also because I just like our. Of course, I want the plants and the rocks we're gonna put in here to be the really big centerpieces in this centerpiece, but I like the molds to be there and give some contrast to the rocks and the plants. Here we use these stones where I'm not completely sure. They might be from the Planet Zoo Safari prop pack or the exhibit prop pack, both by NicholasLionRider. Again, I'm gonna link them in the description. But maybe he used the same stones in both packs. I'm not completely sure, but they looks a lot like the ones he took out of the exhibit pack. Either way, it is from NicholasLionRider. Here you can see I started using some underwater plant. I know it wouldn't grow here, but as for me, it's just like I have some natural growing weeds in here. I don't feel like I can get that with a lot of different plants in this game, so I really like using these. And then you can see here I tried to build this, and here you can see I really tried to build a height on this centerpiece, but still I have to make sure I don't go through the floor. So I use the stairs I made before with every single tree I put in there to make sure it's not high enough. And here you can see I kind of cover some of the underwater plants, so it's kind of subtle that it's there, but I think it still makes a giant difference. And here I just felt like we needed more green, and I really like the centerpiece to pop a lot. I would like these pieces to like be planted in the centerpiece, but then grow over the wall piece and downwards. But that's not something they did here. Kind of sad about that. Yeah, I just want to make it pop a little more. So I add some misters, and also the mist are gonna help the tropical plants we put in here to get that humidity that they would need. So the mist can actually also help some of the plants. And here we're gonna add the second floor, I believe. I kind of wanted it to be different, like you can see from the outside there is more than one floor. So that's why I added that second piece here. And then I just gonna add this. I only added it here, I didn't add it everywhere and round. I just thought that here it would be kind of natural to have this floor, this roof. And yeah, then we started building the second floor here. And here is where I got a stupid idea. I thought we need some toilets, so we're gonna build a basement. But then I kind of forgot about it again because, yeah, it was a stupid idea, as I said. And most places where you are in this beautiful building and then you got to go down in a cellar to go to the bathroom, I really don't like that in real life. And also they're most likely not as pretty and well kept, the toilets in the basement. So I scratched that idea. Yeah, I just want to like use the space we have in here. It didn't make sense that the guest would go in here. So I'm gonna keep the theme from the centerpiece and just add a little more rocks and greens here. It's the same theme, you can see. I'm gonna use pretty much the same stuff, but I also really have to keep watching, especially when it comes to the plant. Turn the camera and see it from the outside, that they don't go through don't go through the wall here. But also that we keep in mind that you are going to see this from both sides. And here, when we're gonna add the height in here as well, I really like the kind of light you get from the window, and I hope when it's gonna be another time of day, the sun are going to go in through these windows and really through the plants, and you can see it from the inside. Here I also need to make sure they don't go through the staircase. Again, same flowers that we used before. And here, just to keep the theme, and I removed this wall piece just to make it not that thick. Down here you can't see the second wall piece either way when we add these. And yeah. Up here I changed the floor mainly because I feel like the thing we're gonna have up here is the helipads. So our top sponsors are going to be able to just land their helicopter right here in the center of this building and just be here at once instead of having to make a flight somewhere and then take a car out here. They can just fly in their helicopter. So I don't want to decor too much on the roof, but I really wanted to be there so it would be easy to do. I don't think too many guests are going to go up here, but later down the line we're gonna still make sure that every single piece we build around this entrance are going to fit the theme from the top. So we don't want to make like an unfinished roof when we know when our guests are going to fly in this way, they're gonna see it as the first thing. So every single thing is going to be beautiful from the air as well. Here I just want to make the helipads. And actually I just had to Google how they look because I don't think I ever seen one in real life. So I did just take this make this round shape, and then I added this edge, which we don't want to use all of this white piece because as you can see it's higher than the round shape we use, so we only gonna use the top half of this piece, which I think is gonna be really pretty from up there. And then of course we need to add the yellow, and we're just gonna flip one of these over and make it yellow. Really, I love flexicolor items. I think every single thing in this game should be flexicolor, because no matter what you build something in, you would be able to paint it over in real life. So it doesn't make sense for me not to make things flexicolored. Then we're just gonna put it up here. And we want 2 of them because again we have more than one sponsor. And then we're gonna put the big H, and it actually was hard finding the right piece because we want it to be big, but we don't want it to be too big and clumsy. So here's the H, and we're just gonna kind of put that in the middle and double it over to the other helipad. And here I have I used too much time of this to figure out what to do with the roof, because I didn't quite like the black roof, but then again I didn't want a gray roof, and I just didn't know what to do, so I ended up using these ones, which is the concrete, which makes sense if you want a plane to land somewhere, you want to make it concrete. But then I had this problem, and I couldn't fix it. So I removed it all again and just used the black asphalt, as I should have done from the start. Here I just saw some extra space, so we're gonna make some extra green and some extra rocks. And I actually think it's give the overall look at the entrance from the inside an amazing look and cohesiveness. So I really like that. And here you can see we keep working with the same plant, the same stuff all over, so it's the same theme, but it's not the same thing. And here you can see in the sides of the building, I'm just gonna be really basic with it. Both because I wanted to match the rest of the building, but also because I know I'm gonna change it when I add other stuff. Again, we're gonna have a restaurant, toilets, and a gift shop on the side, so therefore it's okay that the side of the building is kind of boring, because we're gonna add to it in a later stage. And here I just want to add these to make sure it don't seem too... You can see the different from the roof to the floor. And then I did change them right afterwards to make sure I use the same piece as I do on the rest of the building. That's my only problem with that piece, is it's the same color as this piece that's already in the game. But it's kind of okay, because that's also gonna make the match. You can see the roof I used the roof from the main game, but still then match because the color are somewhat the same. And here I've just, again, we're gonna add some more flowers up here. I don't think I added any rocks up here because I didn't want too much height up here. We want to make sure that it can be there. I don't care that these bushes kind of grow to the roof, because in real life they would grow to the roof and then stop because they can't grow through it. So it's kind of that effect I get here. So here you can see I kind of make it the same on both sides, kind of symmetric, but not exactly. I just want to have this illusion that we just planted the plants symmetrics and then they just grew as they wanted to. Here you can see we started to add a side building here. It's gonna be our toilets. Here you can see I again gonna turn around these pieces to make sure we can see the glass, pieces. As you can see here, I add this extra wall so you don't just walk into the toilets. You kind of have this passage where you can go through it, and then you can go to the boys or girls toilet. Yes, we're gonna add both of them. I will say my guests aren't able to understand the basic of boys and girls bathroom, but I still wanted to build them that way because I think it's the classical thing to do. Yeah, and I only wanted it in one floor height. And here we're gonna add this floor. I think it's kind of the classical public bathroom floor. And then again we add these pieces to make sure that our guests ain't gonna go through the walls. And here I just space out where I want the door. So I kind of make these bathroom mirroring each other, so it's not a copy of each other, but it is like, yeah, mirror of each other. I'm not gonna make the entire toilet blue or red. I'm only gonna make like the, what's it called, stalls, blue or red. And actually now I remember I never made a boys or girls sign, but that's okay, I think. I think it's hard to find the perfect door, mainly because none of them are going to fit anywhere, and the color of most of them are really narrow in a way that you can only use them for one type of builds. I'm not really loving these doors. I do feel like it's okay, it fits, but I don't think it's a part of the design. So here we're gonna make the sink, and actually I'm inspired by a sink I saw. I think I saw it like 10 years ago, where it's just like a glass plate. I use these. I do use these windows pieces to make them, which give me a problem later on because I didn't know they're see-through from one side. There you can see, I think it's in a minute I'm gonna to realize this, so I have to double them up. And here, this, I know it's not a sink piece, this one, but it was the best one I could find. And then I decided to make it bigger. Oh, here you can see the button, the two pieces aren't matched up perfectly, which also irritated me. So it was a little finicky making this sink piece, but I really like the final result. I would like the glass to be more fine and defined as glass, but yeah, I think it's okay. And I would like to have a mirror piece, as you can see here. I did change it up here. It wasn't my original idea, but I kind of feel like it fits more into what I was going to do. And then we're gonna make a window. But then I got a different problem here, you can see in a bit. Yeah, from the outside. Again, when you turn around the pieces, then you can see the glass. So we make this one instead. And actually, that was easier to mirror on the girls' bathroom, so that was okay. And we're gonna move this in here and just double this one so we can see it from there. And then I realized the height was off, so I just did make it a bit smaller. Yeah, and here I just went around and looked around what we're going to build next. I don't have a plan when I make a building, like I'm gonna do this, then this. I just build one thing, then I go through the building and okay, what's next, what we're gonna do now. Get an idea of what to do next. When I made this building, I knew I wanted to, I liked it to be somewhat elevated, because I think when you enter a zoo, the fact that you can see over the zoo is kind of amazing. But here I also think if you exit the building by a helicopter, you already have seen it. But to add this elevation, I think it was a good choice, and I actually really like the way these rocks works with the roof, with the wood. And here we're gonna add our restaurant. And then I realized I had to remove the dirt at first because I couldn't go in after and do it. So here we add the restaurant, and I don't know, here I can put it one way but not the other. So I do work a little bit about to figure out how to do it, but then I realized I can't have it in sun when the terrain is uneven, but make it as there's no terrain is okay. So it's not like a realistic build at this point at all, but yeah, it's realistic in my head. And we all know that probably by doing this build you would make a fundament first. You wouldn't just put the building on top of dirt. So here you can see the restaurant are kept both with the rocks, but also with the wood from the main building. And I'm really happy with how it looks, but then we're gonna add the roof. And again, this roof have kind of a double plus, or what we're gonna call it, because it makes that if you arrive in your helicopter or you just want to go up to the roof to see the zoo from up there, making these rocks and plants pieces up here are going to make it more beautiful, I think. But it's also gonna help with the biodiversity. Biodiversity isn't only gazelles, zebras, lions, whatever we're gonna have in the zoo. It's also the little animals like bugs. So the plants are both, the rocks are going to be home for some of the bugs, but the plants are also going to be both homes and food from the bugs. So it will make a better impact, and of course we know plants are really good for the environment. They're gonna change the CO2 levels, and again, we're gonna make this future life project, so it's important that we really embrace that in the builds as well. I don't know if it's an international thing to make rooftop garden, but I know in Denmark, in Copenhagen somewhere, and also in Aarhus, maybe Aalborg, I'm not sure, they do have these giant buildings with apartments, but then on the rooftop they have small gardenings, both so the people living in the apartment can have a garden, but also to help the environment. I kind of keep them like the indoor pieces, but also I put bigger things in as well, again to get the height we want, but also like the plants would grow better out here than they would do on the inside. These small wall pieces I did use in the beginning here, they are from the exhibit prop pack by NicholasLionRider, which is basically a pack where he just took the different stuff from the exhibits and pulled them out. And I think it's kind of a genius idea he had. And here you can see I just go around again and try to figure out what to do next. And we're gonna do these doorways. I think I really had a hard time because I wanted to fit just both with the wood we have, but also with the middle we have. And I don't think if you kick in the glass pieces, the middle color we have there, it's hard to find middle that really fits in with that color. You can see we have copper. These pieces would fit, but don't have the right shape. And this is too matte. So I found these pieces, but I don't really sure about them. Yeah, it was a lot back and forward, and you can see in one point I just start pulling things out to see what can I do. Yeah, and I do believe that in a bit I'm just gonna give up and do something else, I think. Yeah, here you can see I'm just gonna do this instead. And it's just because I thought the glass looked kind of funky from the inside, so I think that was a good add here. And I finished this one. And then I kind of found... Yeah, where did I find it? I found these pieces, which I for some reason didn't found before. So I'm just... Again, it would be cool to have these glass pieces in 1 meter, so I could put it above the door as well. But I can't, so I work with what I got. I could also have removed the glass pieces because we're inside the building, but I kind of feel like it had a cool effect from the outside to have this double glass. Yeah. And I really like the shine amount, if you can see it, on these pieces. It's clear, it's metallic, but at the same time it's not like too shiny. It does look like somewhere that kids are going to put their sticky fingers. And our caretaker are going to clean that up daily. But beside that, I really like them. And here I just wanted to find out how the door should work. Or not the door, because again, people are going to go in and out of here all the time, so I don't think it would make sense to make a door here. I don't know if some zoos would have a door here. I can't tell you. But for me, it's like also the fact that we're in Africa, so the fact that we can have open kind of airflow through the building would be a plus. I'm not sure if this part of Africa, the grassland part, would have rain season. But it would help in at least the dry season, which is a lot of the time at least. I have never been to Africa. I would love to go. But for me it makes sense to have this natural flow of air. I did decide to make this piece out of the building to put it back in. And I really like the fact that here you can see I loved using the mud pillars for this kind of stuff, because then I know it's the same all around. And here I just wanted to pull these. This is the entrance of the entrance, if you can see that. So you kind of go through this middle box, which I kind of changed the top of later. yeah. But I kind of like the top of that. And here you can see I just go over again and again what to change up. And here we can see we go to the helipads. Also because when you're up here, it's gonna be really hot. It would be so warm up here. You're on asphalt, and asphalt gets so hot in the summer. I live in Denmark and I know it gets hot. So we kind of want to make this kind of shelter up here, but still keeping the theme that it's not gonna be a roof, it's gonna be a shelter. So you're gonna be a bit protected from the sun and the wind when the helicopters are up here. But it's not going to be... It's just not going to be the... It's not gonna be a room, it's not gonna be a building on top of the building, and it's only going to be, yeah, this shelter up here. But I wanted to make it a metal, both to keep the theme, but just also because we just want it to be strong up here. We don't want it to be flowing around when the helicopters land. And then I use these metal pieces, and still please notice that I still use the mud pillar system, which does give me some angle on this. I'm gonna change it after the mud pillars, you can see here, but still the mud pillars made it possible for me to have straight lines, so I can move all of them at once. If I hadn't used the mud pillars, that I would have now to go back and add to go back now to edit every single piece. Now I can do it in lines, which I personally really love. I really love the mud pillars. I would still, I have said this before, a grid, non-grid button would be heaven, but we don't have it, sadly. I would like to incorporate these pieces. I love them and it stays in the theme, I think. But I just couldn't figure out how, so I left the idea behind. And here I just changed the color up a tiny bit. And here I go back to the restaurant. So we want to make the tables fit the theme. Here I really hate the fact that you only have these two choices when it comes to restaurant tables. I would love that you could use the normal tables and just add them as a restaurant table. So if you add it to a restaurant, it's a restaurant table. If you don't, it's just a normal table. I would love to have that option. Also because these tables aren't African themed. It would be a normal European table. I also think a North American table. But like the tiger table from the, I think it's South America pack, would be amazing to have here. It would also be amazing to have some of the African tables as a restaurant table. So I, and also the fact that you could keep the same tables, like you could maybe have two places that mirror each other, that on one side would be a restaurant table, on the other would be normal tables, but you could still use the same tables. Here you can use, see, I used the mud pillar to make this shelter here for the restaurants. And I actually not gonna make a round shelter, but you're gonna see that in a minute. I think everyone who knows about this mud pillar technique would use it on a build like this. Generally, the mud pillar is the most used item for me anyway, but it rarely actually makes it into the builds. But I use it and then delete it later on. If again I had this grid non-grid button, then I could make this on the item I was going to use. Here you can see I removed most of it and then realize it's too small. So then I just gonna go in here and add an extra few meters. The pieces I use here is from I'm pretty sure it's from the Planet Zoo Safari prop pack, again by NicholasLionRider. In generally, I have every single prop pack mod out there that I could find. Maybe there was one from an older version, but again, I've only been playing Planet Zoo since January, so most of the mods I use are newer or something like I really... at one point, I was just searching pack mods. And then I found a lot of these, but there might be some prop mods that I just don't have. Here you see the general idea of what I'm going to do with this shelter, and I just go in here. And really, I didn't want it to be too perfect. I wanted to be something that maybe could be built out of reused wood and metal. Maybe some metal we have left from the main building, and the wood or something that we had from something else, or we bought as a reused item. I will say later I did lower the shelter a bit. I don't think I kept that in the video because it is a pretty long video, but I did lower it a bit later. Here I just want to kind of double this, so it looks the same from the inside and the outside. Now here we make it thicker, and I don't think we have to do that in every single doorway, but the fact here that it's so wide, the doorway, kind of makes sense for me that it would be thicker as well. And here I just want to kind of make the rocks higher. So we have this kind of railing up here. And then I just want to fit it in with how I made the staircase here. And here I just wanted to kind of keep the theme, so I added these glass pieces up here. Yeah, don't look outside here. We're gonna do that in another episode. Yeah, we just put them up there, and here you can see the helicopters. And in here I was just like, yeah, it's a big space, we need to add something. So we add a kind of exhibit in here. I did think about just adding exhibit boxes in here and put animals in here, but I think it was kind of clumsy to add a 4-meter high building in here, or a 4 meters high item in here. So we kind of wanted to make this educational spot. I do think our sponsors would appreciate to read a lot about our different small animals in here. There are not gonna be any live animals. It's only gonna be like, here's some info and some stuffed animals, or what we're gonna call them. And I used a lot of prop here. As you can see here, first I just added a lot of them, and then in a minute I'm gonna delete all of it and start over. But let me just tell you, I used prop animal pack from NicholasLionRider, Birds of the World prop pack from NicholasLionRider, and Jojo's new scenery birds from Jojo. And I think that's what we used here. And then of course here you can see the the piece I use here as the background. I do think it's from the exhibit prop pack by NicholasLionRider. Really, NicholasLionRider have added a lot of stuff I'm using in this build. But it's also because he added a lot of prop packs, which I love. Really, every single Sunday I watch Leaf Productions mod showcase, and really in the beginning when I started using mods, every time I saw mod showcase, I would at least add 4 or 5 mods. But the last weeks or so, I'm just been maybe it's because I already have added some fish, I already added some deers, I already added a lot of types of animals that most of the mods are kind of the same animals, if you know what I mean. And I also think it's the fact that when I get a mod, I want to have an idea, like I'm really gonna use this mod, if you know what I mean. You can see the piece I use here is from the exhibit prop pack from NicholasLionRider. So here we start over, and I just first I put up screen, which I decided not to use. And then I use these plats, I think they're called. I know I do believe they're actually supposed to be like in memory of someone or something, but for me it's we just say it's information, because I feel like there would be information, but kind of short information, a place like this. And maybe there would be like, I feel like there would be, maybe they would have an app where they could see the information, or we have sent them the information on mail or something like that. Yeah. Here I kind of choose not to use too many snakes, because most of them are the same, just in different position. But I do choose to use 2 iguanas. Sorry, that's a hard word. In Danish, it is leguan. So you can see the word is extremely different. Over here, I want to put all the birds. But of course, there's a lot more birds than snakes and iguanas. So I give the birds here more space, and I kind of just look for something to put them on. I think it would make sense to put them on a log like this. And here in the beginning I just put them up. I kind of don't think too much about it, because I think I can change them around again if it is, and I can't remember every single bird there is. Here you can see I don't use any filters here, I just search modded. I do believe all modders use use the word modded, so you can find it like this. I'm not sure, but I do believe all of them do. And I will say in this, I think it's Birds of the World we use right now. I love that there's that there's 4 of every bird. There's 3 that stand still, and then there's 1 that's animated. I really think he did a wonderful job with it. For me, when I use this, I haven't made like a bird habitat yet, but I have like made a tropical house or something like that, where I have a massive big building and then the circle they run around in is too small. But again, if you just want to make like a parrot habitat, not a parrot, what is it called? Ara, I think. One bird habitat, you know what I mean. If you just want to do that, I think it's important that the circle is not too big. So I would like the feature that you could change it, but I rather have the feature that it can fly at all. Then, of course, here I use them standing still. And sometimes when I build my tropical houses, I do like make a branch of the tree where there's sitting a few birds, but the wow effect is more when they move. And I do think that the animation he made with just making them fly around in a circle is a really good. It's a really good solution with what he got to work with. So I'm not mad about it, but I would wish that it had the little tweak. In this size, we put the smaller insects. I know that I personally would really want to see this. Whether I'm in a zoo or a museum or where I am, I love to go and see the butterflies. Also the spiders. I get creeped out by spiders really much. But I still at a point where I can't kill a spider. I killed one, but it was the size of my hands, which I never seen so big a spider in Denmark before. So it kind of creeped me out, and it woke me up in the middle of the night by crawling over my face. So I was kind of in shock, but normally when I see spider, I only put it outside because I don't hate them. I just don't like. Well, they don't pay rent, so I don't want them in my house. They can come in for a short visit, like my friends. But as long as they don't pay rent, I don't want to have them living here. But still, they also eat a lot of the other bugs. So it all fits together. But at least have the decency to stay away from where I can see them. Here I just add a small spade from the, what they call these small leaf animals. I don't know what they're called in English. I'm so sorry. But I kind of felt like they needed a section of their own. I don't know if I section these out like a zoo or a rescue project as this is, they would do that. That's pretty much the end of the build, so I just want to show you now how it's all looked. You can see here, I have built, I filmed this a lot later when I actually had people in the zoo. But here you can see the centerpiece really does what I wanted to. So you have to go to one of the sides. Here we have the information box. And here are birds and snakes and our iguanas. Here you see the only blueprint we used from the workshop. It's from Major Tim and it's just called Helicopter. It's the same helicopter I used twice, but just changed the color on one of them. And here you can see our small insects and spindlers. And here you can see where you would see the animals out there. And here I really think this looks amazing from the inside. And the bathroom, I'm sorry, we only want to see one. And sorry there, a little spoiler from what we're going to do next. And here we have the restaurant. I'm so proud of this project. Clearly it's not done. Next time we're gonna work with what you're gonna see before the entrance. You can see here in the background we have more spoilers. So yeah, you can see out here we really need to do something. So that's what we're gonna do next. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, turn on the bell of notification. I really hope to see you either in the comment section or in the next video. So I'll be there. I hope you will be too. Bye!